TheLegoBuilds, and today I'm going to be making the Flux Capacitor from Back to the Future 1, 2 and 3. So let's have a look at the stuff you guys might need. Alright guys, so for this project I'm going to be using the basis of it to be one of these earpods boxes. So I'm going to open this up and use just the box around it. So I'm going to be just using this. It's a good size for the actual Flux Capacitor. Now there's a whole bunch of wire shells around here. I'm going to use this for the rim around it. I'll show you guys later. These bottle caps over here, some battery packs, switches, and some washers. Alright, let's get into building it. Alright, so first off guys, I'm going to start off with this little box here, the earpods box, and I'm going to draw a little sort of rectangle around here to give it the little window so you can see all the fluxy bits inside. Now what goes was drawing the rectangle here. Now I'm just going to cut it out with an X-Acto knife, so just go around gently, carefully, making sure not to rip anything, and just cutting it out. Alright guys, so we've ended up with this. We've ended up with a nice clean cut window from the little box that we have. We're going to use this as a template to make a clear plastic window for this hole. Alright guys, now I'm not going to do any wasting, so I'm going to use the plastic shell thing that came with the earpod box over here, so this sort of fit into there. I'm going to use this plastic shell to make the window out of this because it's a perfect material, it's clear, it's not scratched up, and it's perfect for what we need. Okay, so now we have this piece here. We've got a flat piece of clear plastic that we can use. So, I'm going to grab the thing that you just cut out from the box here, place it right in the middle where there isn't any of the markings, like that. And we're going to trace around with a marker. Alright guys, so first off, we've finished cutting the hole over here. Now this box doesn't have any backing to it, so I'm going to need to make a backing board for it. So to do that, I'm going to use this stuff called foam core board. Alright guys, so I've taken outside the little box to paint it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on some of the inner parts here. So basically, I'm going to start working on the cables here and the little sort of glowy bits on the inside. So we'll start making those now. Alright guys, so I'm going to start making the cables now for the actual flux capacitor on the inside. They're like little plugs, little yellow and red plugs. So what I'm using is all this cable over here from a, I don't know, connector which had a sort of auxiliary cable connector on there, and some other headphone connectors as well. These are the ones on the angles, the right angle pieces. For the little red parts, the little things that the red parts stick onto, I'm basically using these. These are pop-top lids, right? I'm going to take the white part off, I'm going to spray paint it silver, and I'm going to stick everything on top of them. So I've got 3 here because there's 3 connections inside there. Alright, so there's little parts here, these are going to be painted silver. Alright guys, so having a look at the flux capacitor over here, there's a little black rim around here. We're going to be using this cable over here, we're going to cut it in half and we're going to make the round rim around it. But first, before we do that, I want to paint this box grey, like just a flat grey. Alright guys, so I've just got all the parts back from spray painting. The paint didn't stick too well on these wires, so yeah, it's peeling off a little bit, so I'll try and fix it up later after it's all glued in by dabbing on a little bit of paint, but otherwise they came out alright, pretty good. These parts came out pretty good. So did the ends here, but the wires just aren't sticking too well to the paint. So we'll get to sticking it all up. We got back this as well, the shell. It's all black on the inside here, and a nice grey on the outside. So it's a grey primer that I've used on the outside. So they're all going to be stuck into here now. Okay, so I'm going to glue these now into these little silver cap things. Alright, so while those are drying, I've got the shell for the actual flux capacitor over here. It's back from the painting. It's mostly dry. It's pretty dry actually, so I can definitely start working on it. So over here I've got this little pipe thing. I just need to use this to trace out where the little silver things are going to be put. So yeah, I can work out those, and then the little glowy rods on the inside. There's going to be lights, so yeah. Alright guys, so in here there's the holes. So that's where they're going to be glued into. Alright, so for the little sort of glowy bars, I'm going to use this Perspex, I don't know, it's like a advertising thing, so it sort of folds open, you pop in advertising. And so yeah, I'm going to be using this Perspex sheet. I'm going to use a Dremel to cut out the shape that I need. So I'm just going to trace them out right now, and then I'm going to get them cut. I've finished cutting all these little tiny pieces out of the Perspex sheet that I showed you. Now I'm going to glue these into pairs. They're all in pairs. I'm going to use some crazy glue because I found that works best with this type of stuff. So let me get to gluing these. Okay, so these pieces all dry now, the glue in there's dry. So now I'm just going to place them in so I can see where they're going to go. Alright, so I've got the rough idea of where they're going to go. Next thing to do is poke holes in this. Poke some holes in here now, that's where the wires are going to fit. Alright, so I've used some heat shrink over here instead because the glue wasn't working. Alright, so this is what the inside looks like so far. We have the little silver caps there with the red things, and then the wires gone down the sides. So soon we're going to have to put in the little clear parts. As for the lighting situation, I have this sort of headlamp thing which does flashing, it strobes, and it glows. So this is probably the perfect thing for this flux capacitor. So I'm going to open it up, I'm going to take out all the electronics from the inside, and I'm going to poke holes where the LEDs are going to fit into here, because it's pretty thick, this stuff, so the LEDs can sit in perfectly and flush with this, and then these little caps will sit on top. So what I've done now is I've poked in the holes for where the LEDs are going to go. 1, 2, 3, there's 3 of them. And I've soldered up the power pack for the lights. So as you can see, they will flash. We'll click the button. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn this over. Alright, so I'm going to put the one with the red wire down the bottom over here. Yep. I'm going to glue it in. Alright, so now that's working, that's all good. Now I've just got to glue in these. Let's just test that the lights are working. Here we go. Okay, so the lights are all working. Now I've just got to glue in these little tiny pieces in here. Right, now for the little cylinder things, we can use these fuses just out of, I don't know, just little pieces I've had around the house. Just as little fuses. Just crazy glue them up to the top of these little pillar things that we have. Alright guys, so that's all stuck in now. We have all of the little fuses stuck on now. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm gluing in the film over here, the screen, over the top of this. Grab the flux capacitor insides and fit the box into the other box. Just like that. I have cut around the long wire that I had at the beginning, and now this goes along the edge of this as a screen guard type thing. I'll start sticking it in. The last thing you want to do is you're going to want to get the printing of just the labels, the red labels. on sticky paper. You're going to want to cut it out. So that's the two labels out. Chuck that other piece away. Here you go, the two labels. Now just peel off the backing and pop this one at the very, very top, so like that. And the second one does shield ice from light. Alright guys, so that's it. That's the episode of the props. Here is the flux capacitor. I'll turn it on here, so it's a little blinky over here. There we go. You can have it flashing or you can have it still. So that's the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned next week for some Iron Man stuff, and hope you guys enjoy this weekend's video as well.